Hey guys, what's up? It's Shelby, the Marketing Happy Hour podcast. So glad you tuned in again for another episode of learning how to market your small business or big business, or maybe you're a marketing grad student. I just found out there's actually lots of grad students that listen to my stuff either while they're in school or they may have just graduated. And so, hey, you guys, if you're tuning in, I'm so glad that you are also part of my audience because you get to learn from the things that I have done wrong, and then you don't have to worry about doing that, right? And also all the new things coming up with marketing and things like that. Today's a really great topic. I was kind of scrolling through my ChatGPT list of things that I have made note of for marketing, like this podcast and like the topics and stuff that I really want to cover with you guys. And I just didn't really feel like anything was sticking out today. And so I think it would be a really great opportunity to discuss what I do on days that I do not feel creative. Because let's be honest, if you guys are creative, let's say that you're maybe in marketing or you help with a marketing team, you have days that you don't feel creative. You just don't feel inspired. Like I wake up sometimes and I'm like, today is not an inspiration for me. I don't feel inspired by anything. I'll try to go for a walk. I'll come back inside to my office and I'm just like, I just kind of feel blah on those days. But we can't stop on those days, right? Just because we feel uninspired or we feel kind of blah doesn't mean that we can't do our job or shouldn't do our job. And also the business owners that kind of feel burnt out on marketing, I completely understand. Because you've got everything else to do, right? You have your team that you are trying to make sure you're managing appropriately. They're doing their job. They're selling. They're doing the admin work. Then you have also like the selling side of your business, the service side. Maybe you still work in your business like I do. So you still have all of those things to do as well. And so marketing kind of goes on the back burner. And at the end of the day, you're just like, I have to post on social. This doesn't seem like something I want to do right now. So let's talk about a few things that I do on the days that I don't feel inspired. And this goes back to, I'm going to talk about before I even had a team that works for me. So on the days that I did everything, I would sell my business, I would do the client services, I would do the contracts, I would do the invoicing, and then I also did all the marketing of my own business. And that was the last thing that I actually did. And so it had the least amount of energy put towards it, which is not good. We don't want marketing to be the least amount of energy because that's a huge driver for our sales, for our business, and growing and getting leads and networking and things like that. So on the days that I didn't feel creative back then, I honestly just kind of like pushed forward and didn't really think about it. I'm very stubborn, I'm very hard-headed, and I just push forward. I was also much younger, and I didn't have a child, I didn't have a family, I didn't really have anything outside of my business that was pulling me in different directions. So I could just be disciplined and do it even when I didn't feel creative. But what I noticed was it wasn't that great of things that I would put out into the world. I would just kind of like half-ass it in a way, and I wouldn't really see any results from it. And then that would frustrate me even more. I'd be frustrated that I had to do it. Then I would half-ass it. Then I would be frustrated with the results because it wasn't good stuff that I put out. So fast forward a few years, and I started really being intentional on the content that I'm putting out to the world. I did have seasons of where I would not post for 30 to 60 days, and then I would start posting every day. Then I wouldn't post for 30 days, and I'd post every day. And I'm going to be honest, I saw a huge fluctuation in my business sales based on the content that I was putting out. In fact, I did a little test at the beginning of 2025. I hadn't posted for I think I didn't post in December 24, January of 25, and I believe it was like February or March that I was like, dude, I really need to get back to a consistent basis of marketing myself and posting my content. I just didn't feel inspired because the end of the year and the beginning of the year are two of the busiest times. Like that end of fourth quarter, beginning of first quarter, that's the busiest part of my time as a marketing person because people are spending money at the end of the year, and then at the beginning of the year, they want to start fresh, do things, all the marketing. I'm sure you're doing it right now if you're listening to this in January. So I was really distracted with a bunch of client work that I hadn't delegated appropriately for the team at the time. And then I was also super controlling over my own marketing and content that went out to the world. So I thought that I was the only person that could do it, and I did it better than anybody else, even though my chief content creator has worked for me for like 8 years now, and I trust her with all my clients. So why would I not trust her with myself, right? So we'll come back to that in a second. So I did this little test of what my analytics and sales and stuff look like before I started posting again versus when I posted for 30 days straight, and it was exponential. And I believe that the energy that we're putting into marketing is the energy we're going to get out in our sales. So if we're not putting good energy into marketing, if we're not putting money towards marketing, if we're not putting effort towards marketing, we're not going to see as much sales as what we could. So yes, you could sell here and there and through networking and referrals, but ultimately, when we're doing marketing, we are putting good energy out there, and we're going to receive that back from the world, the universe, God, whatever you believe in. But I wasn't always creative. Like I said, I didn't feel the need to do it. I didn't feel the urge to be creative. It's not like something we can turn off and on as a creative person. I can't just be like, yes, okay, from the hours of 10 to 2 today, I'm going to create this. Even when I'm doing these podcasts, guys, I have it on my schedule to do it on a certain day each week, but I give myself ample amount of time and to like get other work things done in the beginning, because I don't want to be forced to be creative and like teach and educate, because sometimes I don't feel like it. So like I just told you, I didn't feel like it today. Okay. And podcast, I went to ChatGPT. Why do I use ChatGPT? Because ChatGPT knows me better than I do sometimes. And I have an entire list of things that I can go through and be like, okay, if I just have a topic, I can teach about it. So I go through, I'm like, nothing was really like standing out to me today. So I said, you know what? Let's talk about me not feeling creative today, or not feeling creative in the moment when I'm trying to do content for clients or strategies for clients. So let's go back to last year. Whenever I did the 30 days online and being consistent and actually putting good energy towards it, it worked. I grew my sales 25%, and people started seeing me online again, because that's a validation of us, guys. If we're not online, we're not validated. But then I dropped down and I got busy during the summer, and I'm a mom. So then I had to have my kid most of the time, and just all the things happened. And then in November of 2025, I said, you know what? I'm going to hand everything over to Chelsea. Chelsea is my content creator. She's amazing. She worked with me for 8 years. I'm giving her this task so it gets off of me, because I could not let my sales go up and down anymore. I need a more consistency in my life, sales-wise or marketing-wise. And so I handed that and delegated it to her. And you guys, it's the mid of January, and she's been amazing and done better work than what I did. And that's a lot for me to admit, guys. But now I'm not stuck in that like not being creative mode, right? So what I recommend, if you don't feel creative, if you don't feel like you are in the mood to go to Canva and create a graphic and do this, I want you to plan out your month, because it makes it so much easier. This is what I would do when I would feel not very creative. The moments I did feel creative, I took advantage of it. I created content for myself, an outline at least. Something that I can be like, okay, on this week, I'm going to do these 3 posts. I need these graphics. These are the pieces of content. This is like the copy that's going with it. And this is when I'm going to post it. So when I didn't feel creative, all I went to was my spreadsheet. I saw the date. Okay, I need to do this and this. I put it together. I scheduled it out. If you feel really crazy while you're being creative and you're just trying to spend that energy as best as possible, I want you to create the content and schedule it out 30 days in advance. So that way it's easy for you to do. And creating that schedule is not hard whatsoever. I have a 30-day content like calendar guide that you guys can download on my website. But it is very simple. I'm going to go through it. So I want you to say like 3 different questions. So what are the services that you can offer your clients this month? Who are those clients that you want to offer it to? And what's the messaging that you need to put with it? You answered those 3 questions, and then you post them out 1 per week. And if you wanted to add a 4th one, you can as well. But you can do one per week. So you need to just have a different message every week about a different service. You can add a client testimonial in there. You can add a proof of product, as in like if I put my sign shop on my social, I can put branding shoots on my social. I also like to do filler content on like websites that I develop. So those things can help develop in between. But just think of the services that you offer, create 3 or 4 different ones for that, and then create who you want to work with. And just schedule that out for the month. So that way, the moments that you don't feel creative, you already have a plan in place. You don't have to worry about it. Your past self has already thought of your future self. I find myself sitting here going, oh my gosh, thank you so much, Shelby, for being prepared. Because some things I just don't feel like doing in that moment. And if you don't have the budget to delegate it to an employee or to a freelancer or to an agency, then you can actually delegate your time ahead of time. So that way you don't have to worry about your business not being consistent and your social media not being consistent. I also want you to know that not feeling creative, so I'm going to talk to some of my creatives right now. Not feeling creative in the moment is not bad. It's okay. Sometimes we have to rest our brain. I know after sitting at my computer for an entire day thinking of strategies, replying to emails, doing some graphic design work. I'm in the middle of 3 different websites right now that I'm developing. So in the middle of all that, I'm feeling overwhelmed. At the end of the day, I'm feeling very overwhelmed. And so my creativity energy is just not there. And it's okay. Sometimes we have to reset. I'll use like a time to go work out, like for an hour. I'll go work out and I'll be, okay, I'm energized again. Let's go back at it. Or I'll be like, okay, I'm going to go pick up my kid early. We're going to go spend some time together. And once she goes to bed, I'm going to go back at this project. Or tomorrow, I'm going to come back to what I was working on because I'm going to feel more refreshed. The worst thing that we can do as creatives or business owners is forcing something. We don't want to force like, okay, I've got to get this done between this hour and this hour. And if I don't, then I'm failing. And then we're forcing it and then it doesn't come out like we want it. I can't tell you how many projects that I have redone because I forced myself to get them done in a certain time period, or I didn't create enough time space for myself to get the project done, which is very likely in my world. So I didn't create enough time space for that project. And so I was forced to get it done. I didn't do it efficiently and I didn't look great. It wasn't as good as what I thought it was going to be or what it should be. So I've redone projects so many times because of that. So let's think about ourselves and let's think about our own mental health when it comes to creating marketing materials for ourselves, creating the content. I want you to feel less pressure on yourself. Take advantage of the creative space that you feel. If you're a business owner that's outside of marketing, you do HVAC or roofing, or maybe you're a consultant and you're like, marketing is just like a different world for me, but I'm also creative. Okay, great. Well, let's take advantage of that creative time that you have and that energy that you have, and let's schedule things out 30, 60, 90 days. So when you don't feel that way and you're overwhelmed with the other things of your business, you already have it outlined for you, and it's going to make it so much easier. So all my creatives, let's also make sure that our time space for our projects is good and it's a great amount of time, because if we don't, then we may feel forced to do something we're not feeling at the moment, and that's okay. It's okay to not feel creative and to feel stuck. When I was writing Market Like a Boss, I had so much writer's block because I was also managing my team. I was also being a mother. I was also managing my clients and building my business and going, well, crap, now I have to like write tonight. And I would remember like, okay, I've got between 7 and 8 tonight that I have to write 2 chapters. Y'all, you can't write 2 chapters in an hour, for one. And 2, I wasn't creative between 7 and 8 at night because it was at the end of my day. I was exhausted. I didn't really have any more energy left inside of me. And so I was forcing something that wasn't supposed to happen. And so once I would write even a little bit, I would go back the next day and rewrite it, because then I'd be like, ugh, okay, I've just created more work for myself. So just know that it's normal to not be creative all the time, but also we want to stay consistent with our marketing and our digital content. So just make some space on your calendar to be like, you know what? this is when I'm going to do this. I'm feeling it right now. I'm going to push some other things back so I can keep going on this one project. And just know that it's normal not to be creative all the time, but we want to take advantage of it. And of course, if you need any help or if you need any guidance, you can always book a consultation with me on my website, themarketingbroker.com. That's themktgbroker.com. I would love to talk to you about your business so that way we can really see the efficiencies and inefficiencies and how we can make those better for you. All right, guys, I'll catch you on the next one.